If you're the proud owner of one of these old GoldWings and you bring it into a shop and the shop wants $150, $200, $175 an hour to change your rear tire, and you're going to get out of there spending $800, $900, $1,000, even if they are willing to take it on. Because a lot of shops won't work on this old stuff because the plastic's brittle, it breaks, it's missing screws, there's other issues with it, and it quickly adds up and surpasses the value of the machine. So if you own one of these machines, your best bet is just to learn how to do it yourself. Rear wheel changes, front wheel changes, they're not that difficult. They're more intimidating than they seem. You don't need a bench to do it. You need some basic tools for sure. Torque wrench, some grease to grease the splines once you get the wheel off. But I'll show you how to take this off. It's not bad. I'm going to use a bench because I have a bench. But if you had to do it on the floor, you can do it on the floor. It's something you do on a Saturday. It'll probably take, 5 hours, 6 hours if you haven't done it before. And then you can just take the wheel off and bring that into a shop, have them do it and balance it, and then put the wheel back on yourself, because a lot of shops won't touch this old stuff. But it's not that difficult, actually. So let me show you. It's pretty easy. Is to swing this whole trunk up and over. Easy peasy. You got to take the mufflers off. 2 bolts up front here. That's what clamps them on. And then there's a hanger bolt back here. It goes under here and holds the muffler up, and that's it. You just take the mufflers off, leave the bolt in there. There's a couple bolts underneath the rear foot peg here. You take those out, you take the cover off, that cover, and then this comes off, and then you take the crash bar off. 2 bolts under here, you take those off, this whole thing comes off, and then there's 1 bolt here, then 1 bolt in the bag inside that takes off the crash bar. So 4 bolts in total. Where the air hose goes underneath here is a 10 millimeter bolt, 1.5, with a 12 mil head on it. Right underneath this hole is a little rubber plug right here. And then on the other side, same thing. There's a bolt hole here. You take those bolts out. These rear bolts, you loosen them off, but leave them in so that they're flush with the back nut here, because the whole thing's going to pivot. 14 mil head on it. I think it's a 12 mil bolt. And then there's another one here. And the whole thing just swings up and over. And you'll note now that I got this up in the air, the whole back end of it, that the brackets where they fit into, they're slotted. So yeah, you gotta take the caliper off. So there's 2 bolts here, one here, and there's a little bit of grease that goes on these to keep it, because the caliper goes out and in because the rotor's fixed to the wheel, and so you have to compensate for the wear in the pads and the fact that they're clamping sort of unevenly at times. And so these calipers actually slide back and forth on these pins right here. And there's a 14 head on one and a 12 mil on the other. You just take them out and give them a little grease. You can undo the nut on the other side. The nut is here. Use a big breaker bar. It's like it's not a nylock nut, but there's a piece of metal in there that locks it in. There's a pinch bolt here. So you undo the pinch bolt, just loosely. And then, see, there's a hole in the axle. Put a screwdriver in there, wiggle it out, and you take them out. And that's it. And the wheel pops off. And note, there's a little washer right here. And that goes on the outside of the brake bracket. And then the big shouldered piece goes inside. So shoulder piece, bracket, washer, and then the axle goes through it. And the shoulder of the axle butts up against this washer. Otherwise, this brake bracket is not lined up. It'll rub against the rotor like this thing was doing and making a mess, which is why there was all these shavings and everything on the other side. It would turn, but it was rubbing, and now it turns nice and freely, as it should. Good time to change the differential oil too while you're in here. Just this bolt down here, drain bolt, and then a fill plug, and you undo it, and then you just undo this cap and you fill it up right to the lower level. It's really easy. You don't even have to measure it. Just pour 80-90 weight in there till it goes to the bottom. You're done. Easy peasy. GoldWing tire changes made easy. Hope that helps some people out there. And have a good night, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Cheers.